Shalom. In the name of YHWH, honor and praises to Yahweh, the God of Israel, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. After that, I want to give honor to the elders of Israel and all those that labor in the truth. And saying that, let's get straight into it. Through the scriptures, I believe that America is the modern day Babylon that the Bible speaks about. Okay? Because the Bible never give a detail or a geographical location on where modern day Babylon is. Okay? So based on the scriptures, I believe that America is that great city that's here today. Okay? In fact, let's go to the book of Revelations. The 18th chapter, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And that glory that the earth was lightened with is that presence of Yahweh, but those commandments. Okay? Because the commandments is light. Okay? That's the presence of righteousness. Okay? Verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. Meaning that Babylon have failed. Okay? And throughout history, Babylon rose and fell. It rose and it finally fell. Okay? And it finally fell in 530 BC. Okay? Yahweh used Cyrus to complete his prophecy, to bring the reconstruction of the temple and to bring the Israelites back into their land. Okay, and he used Cyprus to do that. Okay, it is what it is. All right. See, so the last king of Babylon was what's his name? Nabonidus. Okay, something like that. Now, Nabonidus was the Babylonian king at that time, right? Now, Nabonidus had a son, right? And his son was actually ruling in his place that the Bible speaks about, and his name is Belshazzar. Okay, because see, Belshazzar was the son of the last Babylonian king, Nabonidus. Okay, it is what it is. So, in fact, let's go to the scriptures. So let's get Isaiah, the 44th chapter, verse 28. That saith of Cyrus, listen, that saith the Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasures. What? He shall perform all my pleasures, because he is Yahweh's shepherd. Okay? Yahweh used him to complete his prophecy. And basically, this is what y'all have to understand in today's society, is that Yahweh prophecies are biblically, politically related, because his prophecies is carried out through the politician's agenda. Okay, his policies, not his policies, but his judgment and what he say is carried out through legislation. Okay, because politics is a part of life. Okay, so he used a military force and politically to take over and to put it into Babylon. Okay, it is what it is. Let's read that again. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 28. That saith to Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and shall perform my pleasures. Even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple thy foundation shall be laid. Meaning the reconstruction period of the temple, when the Israelites was allowed back into that land. Okay, now that period, that point in history, according to Babylonian Timbuktu, right? That in that point of history, that's when you had the scattered of the nations. Okay, because you had some that returned to the land of Israel, some went into Africa and the four corners of the earth. Okay, so I believe Jeremiah stayed up in that region. Okay, it is what it is. And Okay, let's go over to Isaiah, the 45th chapter, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed. What? Thus saith the Lord to his anointed. And who is his anointed? To Cyrus. Who? To Cyrus. Who's anointed? To Cyrus. Was anointed because he was Yahweh's right-hand man to complete his prophecies. Okay? The destruction of Babylon. All right? Let's read that again. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden. What? Whose right hand I have holden. To subdue. What? To subdue all nations. What? To subdue nations before him. And will loose those loins of the kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates. Meaning that all these kings in these regions that was together, that was associated with that one world system of Babylon, politically, they had no choice but to lay down. Okay, they ain't had no choice but to lay down. Okay, see, y'all got the misunderstanding about Yahweh God. Okay, yes, he's peaceful and loving when it comes to these commandments. Okay, but when that disobedience come into play, this man is not nothing to be played with. Okay, I'm telling you, these Israelite camps, this ain't no joke. Okay, we out here laboring because these commandments was going to stand, yo. I'm trying to tell you. Wait in the 5 or 6 years in the next 2 presidential elections. All right, it is what it is. Let's read that again. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him. And I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. I will go before thee. Now listen. Listen to what Yahweh said. I will go before thee. Now when he said go before thee, he was using Cyrus. So basically, he used Cyrus. All right? It is what it is. I will go before thee, and to make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gate of brass, and cut in sunder of the bars of iron. Meaning that Babylon was overthrown and conquered. Okay? And to no longer stand in the geographical original location of Babylon. Okay, and during that time, I think Nebuchadnezzar, I don't believe that he was slain because see, like I said before that you had Belshazzar, he had the son Belshazzar. Belshazzar was ruling at that time. Okay, I believe when you go back into I think Daniel, yeah, I believe it's in Daniel, where he was toasting out, he was having a party, he was living it up. Okay, he was living it up while Cyrus was entering Jerusalem to take over. Okay, and the Bible tells you that Belshazzar, Nebuchadnezzar's son, was slain by Cyrus. Okay, in fact, let's go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 5, verse 30. In that night, in that night Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, was slain. Okay? See, so Yahweh used, Shalaki, Yahweh used Cyrus to destroy Babylon, right? See, so now Babylon fell in 530. Okay, now the original geographical location of Babylon is in ruins to this day. Okay, even though they got it I was watching a documentary about Iran and some of the temples in original Babylon, they was building some reconstruction of them temples, but it was just for like monuments, you know what I mean? Things of that sort, like a museum sort of. Okay, but I don't think that in these times in our society that Iran or that Arab nations have the capability or economically to pull that off to become another Babylon, because see, Babylon is the great city, it's the first city, okay, that was against Yahweh. All right, it was the first city all right, of pagan religion birth, that gave birth to pagan religion, okay? It is what it is. See, so Babylonian fell, right? Now let's go back, Revelations chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. So we know that Babylon has failed, okay? Is fallen, meaning that Babylon is going to fall again, and it's a future prophecy because it talks about a modern day Babylon, okay? And despite of it's not, the Bible doesn't give great detail of modern day Babylon, but through the scriptures, we see that Babylon is is symbolic. It's ideology of that great city of power. You hear me? Power, wealth, religion, okay? Basically human control. All right, and this ideology of Babylon the Great have been with these world empires throughout history. Okay? In fact, let's go to the book of Daniel. All right, what's going on? All right.
Good first name, Book of Daniel. I'm Daniel.
Oh, okay then.
How about that, Peter?
Yeah, right. Okay, take it easy, brethren. Okay, Daniel, chapter 2, verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold a great image. Now that image was that beast that Nebuchadnezzar had, right? Now, that beast that Nebuchadnezzar had represented world empires, okay? And those world empires had exercised or displayed that Babylonian ideology, or the ideology of Babylonian, of power, corruption, okay, religion, okay? So all these kingdoms throughout history displayed that symbolism of Babylon, okay? Now let's read that again. Daniel, chapter 2, verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold a great image. The great image whose brightness was excellent stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image's head was of fine gold, which is Babylon. The brass and his breast and the arms of silver was the Persian, I believe. And his belly and thighs of brass was the Greek. I mean, was what? His belly and brass was what? You had Persia, the Medes. Yeah, then you had the Greeks. Okay, and his thighs of brass, and that's his thigh of brass, his legs of iron, was symbolizing, yeah. Okay, I was right, yeah, symbolizing the Greek, okay, Alexander. Now this is the part that I really want to get into, because as to why America is that ideology or the modern day Babylon, and it displays that. Okay, let's pay attention to verse 33. Daniel chapter 2, verse 33. His leg of iron, his feet part iron and part clay. Now part iron and part clay represents the Roman Empire. Okay, and let's read that. Verse 34. Thou sawest till the stone was cut out without hand, which smote the image upon its feet. Now listen, it smoked the image upon its feet. It didn't, that smoke didn't hit the image in the head. It didn't hit him in no body parts, right? Notice that it hit him in the feet, right? And the feet is the Roman Empire, because see, the Roman Empire politically fell through the Renaissance period. Okay? Understand that. See, so Rome fell, so you had nations that was no longer existed, and you had new nations that rose up, right? Which is now, in today's time, we call Eastern and Western Europe, or NATO, okay? France, Germany, Dutch, Italy, okay, and so forth. All right, now let's go back. Verse 34. Thou sawest till the stone was cut out without hand, which smote the image upon its feet, that of iron and clay, and break them in pieces, because the last empire to stand was the Roman Empire. Okay, even when you go into Christianity doctrine, because it's even though Christianity is watered down doctrine, right? But at least 20% of it of what they're saying is correct. Okay, it is correct because see, America is a copy of that Roman Empire that we about to get into. Okay, see, so Rome was the last empire, a world empire. Okay, a world empire to display the characteristics of Babylon the Great, of wealth, power, okay, corruption, religion. Okay, it is what it is. Now, starting from Babylon all the way down to the Roman Empire, right? All those kingdoms were polytheism kingdoms, meaning that they believe in multiple gods, right? Now, the Egyptians is a polytheism polytheism kingdom. However, when I think in the third or the fourth period of the Egyptian dynasty, I think he changed his name to Hakentuck, whatever. He brought polytheism of Egypt into one religion, and today in y'all Christian church y'all say amen, but who y'all saying amen to is Amen Ra. Okay, because he created in Egyptian, he created one religion. Okay, it is what it is. Let's go back. Let's go back and read Daniel chapter 2, verse 34. Thou sawest till the stone was cut out without hand, which smote the image upon his feet, that of iron and of clay, and break them into pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the shaft of the summer threshing floors. Meaning that Babylon was gone, Roman was gone, Persian was gone, the Greeks, Alexander was gone, because Alexander conquered the barbarian world with his 4 soldiers. Alright, his 4 generals. Alright, see, so all these great empires display that symbolism of Babylon. Okay, and Babylon existed throughout history because the Bible speaks about a modern day Babylon. Okay, let's finish up. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. Now listen up. Now pay attention to this one, because this is what we're going to get into. Because politics and the scriptures are related. They are tied together. Now listen to this. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain. And that stone that hit the feet, and the stone that became a great mountain, is what you call democracy. Okay, because democracy promotes independence and it promotes free will. Democracy is fucking wicked. Okay, because you can transgress God's laws, you can do anything you want through democracy. Okay, and that was smoke that image, because the Romans, the Persians, the Greeks, the Medes, and the Babylonians, democracy never, ever, never, ever existed. Okay, so democracy never existed to around about what the Ottoman Empire, the decline of the Ottoman Empire, about what, 1299 something AD and whatnot. Okay, now let's go back. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and that great mountain are called governments to this day. That's why you don't have no more world kingdoms. Okay, dominant kingdoms like Rome. Rome is no more. Rome is Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Today they call NATO. Okay, understand that. Babylon, the original geographical location of Babylon, is known as Iran, and it's in rubble right now. And no man would be able to inhabit that. To inhabit Babylon. I think it tell you in Jeremiah 50. Okay, but the point is that yeah, matter of fact, let me get that, because that's another point in history too. All right, let's get Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 2. Declare ye amongst the nations, and publish, and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded. Moradok, this is basically the chief god of the Babylonians, but in the Sumerian in the world text, in Sumerian doctrine is Hamburai, is Murdoch. In Hamburai rule is Murdoch. Okay? Is broken in pieces. Her idols is confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north come up a nation against us, which shall make her land desolate, and shall none dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart both man and beast. And that was the what? The ninth. I believe that came because Babylon was conquered by other nations, okay? It is what it is, all right? Now let's go back. Daniel chapter 2. Let's finish up. Let's start where we left off at. Okay, verse 35. And then was the iron of clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken in pieces together, and became like the shaft of a summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became the great mountain, and filled the whole earth. What filled the whole earth was democracy, was governments, okay? Because out of these world kingdoms came governments, okay? Rome fell to the Renaissance period, okay? Understand that, and that's why I say America is another Babylon symbolism, and it carry the characteristics of Babylon, because see, America is a copy of the Roman Empire, right? Now, America political system is of Rome, okay? It got a Senate and a Congress. The difference between America in today's time, America and other countries, and America and throughout history, world other kingdoms, what makes America only different from all the nations throughout history is that America is built on democracy. Its political system is built on democracy. Okay? Its constitution was written on a divine system. It wasn't written on a human rule system like China, Russia, Canada, Australia, South America. Okay, see, so that's why I say America is diverse from all kingdoms that Daniel talk about. All right, it is what it is. See, and democracy filled the whole earth, because you have democracy in the third world countries now. Okay, and that battle with Ukraine is because you see two governing systems clash with each other. Okay, as to which one is going to rule Ukraine. And I'm gonna tell you like this right now, it's setting up for World War III, because World War III is not with China and America. World War III is not with Russia and America. World War III is when all these nations come together to fight Yahweh. That's why America trying to do that space program, to put weapons out in space, because they know and understand that these UFOs that you want to call is coming. Okay, it's inedible, but to you all, they lie to you all and tell you in politics or in these politicals agenda, the world is coming to an end. Is they say what? AOC say what? Climate control. The politicians with the climate is the #1 issue. Okay, because they know and understand that the end is inedible. The end is inedible, and it will take place. See, these devils know this, but you don't. All right, it is what it is. Okay. See, so that mountain was governments. All right. Now let's go to Revelation. Back to Revelation, because throughout history, all kingdoms displayed that Babylonian, okay, ideology, and America to this day displays that ideology. Okay, let me backtrack a minute, because see, America got its independence when it fought against the British, and that's why it celebrates the 4th of July. But America is still tied to the British. Okay, America is the club of England. I don't have enough time to get deeper into it, but America is the club of England. Okay, because there's some things that you all need to understand, so that this whole picture, so that you can be able to see the whole picture and get it, understand that it's about these commandments, because this world will end, and that's inevitable. Whether I believe or not, whether you believe or not, point is that it will end. That's the point. Okay, now the symbolism and the ideology, so we're going to line this up with today's kingdoms, but today we use countries instead of kingdoms. Okay, so let's go back to the book of Revelations. Let's finish up 18, then we're going to hit back on Revelation 17. Let's finish up 18. Verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. It's fallen, meaning the future of Babylon, it will fall. And Babylon is fallen. And it's become the inhabitation of devils. Right? And America is filled with devils. And devils mean deceivers. Okay? You have the Rothschilds that had the banking system. You had Adam Weishaupt when they came over here, the creators of Illuminati. Okay, you have deceivers over here. You have devils over here. Okay, it is what it is. Like Columbus knew how America, they were devils, because what they did was sign contracts with the Native American Indians, which were black people, and they had signed contracts and forced the black women of the seed of Gad to have their babies. So that's how you see a lot of Caucasian people have rights to this land. You see a lot of white people saying, I got Indian in me. Okay, because it was a lot of, see, America is wicked. Okay, America is fucking wicked. All right, understand, America would be destroyed. But let's finish up. Okay, it's inhabited of devils, and hold every foul spirit and cage of every unclean and hateful bird, meaning that they have the attitude and characteristics of a lot of animals that's disgusting. Okay, what it is. All right, but let's go to let's slide over to Revelations chapter 17 verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked to me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore. What? The judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Right? Now we know that Babylon, the original Babylon, geographically located, right, in land of Shinar, right? So we know that Babylon, the original Babylon, was surrounded by water, because it's set between the Tigris, the Euphrates River. You had the Indian Ocean, right? Now let's line that up with today. America's the same way, because America is surrounded by 3 bodies of water. It's surrounded by the Pacific, it's surrounded by the Atlantic, then you got the Gulf of Mexico and the Florida Straits. Okay, so America do sit on many waters. Okay, all right. See, so the symbolism of Babylon is still here, and that's in America. Okay, because America displays that. Okay. Verse 2. Whom with the kings, which is now we say presidents and prime ministers, okay, of countries, okay, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of fornication. Now when it says wine of fornication, not talking about basically dealing with sex. It's talking about in everything. Religion, culture, politics. Okay, they committed fornication through this ideology and world philosophy, which is democracy. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, and the inhabitants are the people that have been drunk, because they stumbling, they don't know what to believe. Okay, because all the ideology and the philosophical views of this world. Okay, not understanding that the commandments is the only way that you're gonna be able to see what's taking place, what's going on. All right, it is what it is. So let's finish up. Okay, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored breast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, the 7 heads and the 10 horns is symbolic. because them horns represents presidents, elected officials in office, right? And I believe the seven heads are the 7 states, are 7 countries. But I don't have enough time to really go into it, so we're gonna get some more into America, Babylon, okay? It is what it is, but now I want you to get to understand that America is that modern day Babylon, because it displays that symbolism and the characteristics of Babylon, that great city, okay? And I saw the woman sit upon the scarlet, and America is a woman. Okay, you got the Statue of Liberty, okay? America is that woman. Okay, America is known for the land of milk and honey. Okay, it is what it is. All right. Verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Meaning that symbolizing all that wealth, power, and pagan religion, all in one hand. Okay, and Babylon was that city that was against Yahweh. Okay, was that city against God of Israel. Okay, and the filthiness of fornication, right? Because you had a lot of countries to this day, they fornicate with America. They implement American policies. They implement this democracy. Okay, Canada, these third world countries. Okay, now America, Joe Biden them let Russia run up and take Ukraine, right? Because he is going to take Ukraine. Now you want to send billions of dollars to Ukraine. See, y'all need to wake up, okay? It is what it is, man. Y'all need to wake up, all right? See, so America commit fornication with these other countries in their ideology, they worshiping, their culture, okay, their politics, okay? Because now you got democratic elections taking place all over the globe, except for China. And Putin put an end to that shit because he had all them people killed. Anytime you oppose Russia, he was dead. All right, let's finish up. It is what it is, all right? Verse 5. And upon her forehead was name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. Now when it says mystery, Babylon the Great, because their doctrine is surrounded with myth and legend. Okay, the Sumerian doctrine is surrounded with myth and legend. And the Babylonian doctrine is a copy of the Sumerian doctrine. And that doctrine is here globally. Okay, is in all 4 corners of the earth. All right, the mother of harlots, and the mother of harlots, right? And when it says the mother of harlots, it's basically not talking about a woman in a whorish way, but yet it's talking about in everything. It's a harlot in economics. It's a harlot in religion, corruption and greed. Okay. Let me see. Let's get Nahum, the 3rd chapter. Nahum, chapter 3. Chapter 3, verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. Because the Nile was heavy into idolatry, heavy into witchcraft. Okay? Because it's all about, and America has that ideology, not the ideology, excuse me, that religious ideology of Babylon. Because America main holidays that they celebrate and who they worship is Christmas and Easter. Because when y'all celebrate Christmas, y'all worshiping the god of Nimrod, because he died and became the sun god. Because the Nemesis tricked the people and deceived the people. Okay? And when she died, she became the moon goddess. Okay, that's why you got the Easter egg in the fertility, Ishtar. Okay? See, regardless of whatever 4 corners of the earth you are, these religions comes back to Babylonia. Okay, it is what it is. All right. Let's get let me get Isaiah, the 23rd chapter. Let's go to 23rd, verse 17. And it shall come to pass that the end of the 70 years that the Lord will visit Tyre. What? Tyre, and shall turn her to higher. And Tyre and Sidon are one of the two cities of the Phoenicians that was heavy into idolatry. They was very, very heavy into idolatry. Okay. And she shall turn her higher, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. Okay, and that's what happened. Sidon and Tyre and the Ninth, they committed fornication with other countries by spreading this philosophical ideology, religious paganism. Okay, and America here is to this day. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, because see, America is it's another Babylonian, because see, when you look at Babylon, you look at a what? One world governmental system. Okay, and that's what Babylon is, a one world governmental system. Right? So let's go to the Genesis, the 10th chapter. Let's go to 10. Let's start at verse 9. Let's start at verse 8. And Cush begot Nimrod, and he became to be the mighty one, because he was like a Nephilim of the people through the clothes of Adam. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, meaning that he was against the Lord. Okay? Even though he was skillful at bow and hunting, but yet he was skillful in the abilities that he had through the clothes that Adam Yahweh gave him. He built temples. Okay, they built temples and worshiped all these gods. Okay, worshiped all these idols. So he was against the Lord, because they labeled him king, because he was like a Nephilim, so he protected the people. Okay, it is what it is. All right, verse 10. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Now I said the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, was the starting point, right? Now Babel is what? It's also known of confusion, right? Let's go to let's slide over to Genesis the 11th chapter, verse 1. And the whole earth was with one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they have brick for stone, and slime they have for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city, and a tower whose top may reach to heaven. And let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. And when Yahweh told them to scatter, what they did was went to the plain of Shinar, they migrated, and built the city without Yahweh. Okay, verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. And the Lord said, Behold, these people is of one language, and this what they began to do. Verse 7. Let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Now let's go down to verse 9. And therefore it is called Babel, because the Lord did confound their language of all the earth. Meaning that in America, that fits America too. Why? Because America is a multi-language country. Okay, you got all nationalities and all languages here in America. Because when you go to China, you won't see predominant Chinese. Vietnam, predominant Vietnam. Okay, that's all. You know what I'm saying? You go to Saudi, you're going to see African, the Saudi language. But in America, you got multi-languages. And America is confused because you got multi-religions and multi-languages here. Okay, it is what it is. So symbolism, America is confusion. Okay, now Babel also is known as the gate of gods. Okay, so known as the gate of gods because of the idol worshiping. So let's go to the book of Romans, the first chapter. Let's go to verse 21. Because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as Yahweh, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and foolish hearts was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the corruptible Yahweh into an image made like the corruptible man, and to birds, and to four-footed beasts, and to creepy things. And that's where y'all get all these paintings from all these pagan religion. That's where y'all get it from. All of it stems from Babylonian. Okay, because Babylon gave birth to the pagan religion to this day. Okay, it is what it is. All right, now go to verse 25. who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator. Meaning that y'all turned Yahweh creation into a lie. Evolutionists, atheism, okay, and so forth. All right, it is what it is. All right, and y'all worship the sun, y'all worship the moon, y'all worship the planets, except for worshiping Yahweh the creator and keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, y'all worship everything else. Y'all worship even the son, his son, and he's not to be worshipped. But yet y'all worship, y'all call him Jesus, but y'all worship him. Okay, it is what it is. Y'all worship creation. Y'all don't worship the creator. Because if you worship the creator, you'll know these statutes and commandments. And you'll know the first commandment is thou shalt have no other God, bow down, or engraven images. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, let's go back to finish up. I believe him. Let's go up. Oh, okay, it is what it is. All right, Revelation chapter 17, verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with blood of the saints, and with the blood of the merits and of F-YHWH. And when I saw her, I wondered with the great admiration. Okay, it is what it is. All right, see, so basically America is symbolic, and it displays that symbolism of Babylon: wealth, power, religion, because they control the religion, because it's heavy into Christianity. Okay, and America is a monotheistic country, so it believes in one God. Okay, so that democracy that broke politics that broke up Rome, created other governments, and the mountain that's created is America, because America is dominant, because that one world governmental system. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 10, verse 10. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and he rich, and he clad, and Canaan in the land of Shinar. And out of that land went forth Asher, and built the Niab, and the city of Rehoboth, and Kali. And risen between the Niab and Kali, the same is the great city. Okay, now one world government ain't nothing new. And that one world government is here to this day, and it's called the Paris Agreement. Okay, because that Paris Agreement consists of America, who lead the charge, Canada, Australia, and other third world countries, and NATO too. Okay, so that one world governmental system is still here. Okay, and it's called the Paris Agreement, and America lead the charge. Okay, and why? Because China and Russia are communist human rule legislations, or they human rule kingdoms or countries. America is a religious country. Okay, so you have a divine and a philosophical system. Okay, and that's why you see more countries attack America, because these countries that attack America are not religious countries, but human rule countries. Okay, that's why you have to understand your governments. Well, I gotta get up out of here. May Yahweh be with you. Shalom.